You've spent thousands of dollars on furniture, paint, and decor, and your living room still feels off. Here is the truth nobody in interior design tells you. It is rarely about spending more money. It is about 10 specific decisions that separate a home that looks staged from a home that looks like an afterthought. I am about to walk you through all 10, and number 5 is the one almost everyone skips, even though designers say it matters more than anything else on this list. Before we get into it, hit subscribe to Home Intel so you never miss an honest, no-fluff breakdown of what actually makes a home look better. No sponsors, no filler, just what works. Let us get into it. Upgrade your cabinet and door hardware. If you want the fastest visible upgrade in your entire house, start with hardware. Cabinet knobs, drawer pulls, and door handles get touched every single day, yet most homes still have the builder-grade hardware that came with the house. Swapping these out is one of the cheapest changes you can make relative to the visual impact. A brushed brass or matte black pull-on kitchen cabinets can make an entire kitchen look renovated without a single wall being touched. Here is where a lot of people overcorrect though. You do not need every metal finish in your home to match. In fact, modern design often pairs two complementary finishes, like matte black cabinet hardware, with warm brass light fixtures, to avoid that flat, builder catalog look. The rule is not one finish for the whole house. The rule is consistency within the same application. Do not mix 3 different pull styles on one set of cabinets, and do not put a mismatched knob on every third drawer. Pick your finishes deliberately. Keep them consistent where they live side by side, and you'll get a look that feels curated instead of chaotic. This trick alone often costs under $200 for a full kitchen and takes a single afternoon. Invest in one great rug. Most people treat rugs as an afterthought, something to fill empty floor space. Designers treat rugs as a foundation of a room. A rug anchors your furniture, defines a seating area, and adds warmth and texture that hard flooring simply cannot provide on its own. The mistake almost everyone makes is buying a rug that is too small. A rug should be large enough that at least the front legs of your sofa and chair sit on it. Ideally, all 4 legs in a bigger room. A tiny rug floating in the middle of a large room makes the whole space feel disjointed and smaller than it is. If budget only allows for one splurge item in your home this year, make it the rug in your main living space. It changes the feel of a room more than almost any other single object. Edit down your accessories. Here is the part nobody wants to hear. You probably own too much decor. Every shelf, mantle, and console table does not need to be filled. Professional designers work with negative space intentionally, and one of the fastest ways to make a room look more expensive is to remove things, not add them. Go through your shelves and pull everything off. Then add back only your best pieces, grouped in odd numbers like 3 or 5, with varying heights. If a room feels cluttered even after cleaning, it is usually not a cleaning problem. It is an accessory problem. Less really does read as more intentional. This is a zero-cost fix. It just takes a bit of honesty about what you actually need on display. Use mirrors strategically. Mirrors are one of the most underused tools in home design, and placement makes all the difference. A well-placed mirror reflects light and a pleasant view, whether that is a window, artwork, or an interesting architectural feature. A poorly placed mirror reflects a blank wall or the back of a cabinet, which adds nothing. Before hanging a mirror, stand where you will be sitting most often in the room and check what the mirror would actually reflect from that angle. In smaller rooms, a large mirror placed opposite a window can make the space feel noticeably brighter and larger without adding any actual square footage. This is a trick real estate stagers rely on constantly because it works, and it costs next to nothing if you already own a mirror that just needs to be relocated. Layer your lighting. This is the one designers never skip, and it is the one most homeowners get wrong. A single overhead ceiling fixture lighting an entire room is the number one reason spaces feel flat and uninviting, even when everything else is well decorated. Good lighting design uses at least 3 layers. Ambient lighting from an overhead source, task lighting for specific activities like reading or cooking, and accent lighting like a floor lamp, table lamp, or wall sconce that adds warmth to corners the overhead light does not reach. In 2026, warm white bulbs in the 2700K to 3000K range remain the standard for most living spaces because they create a cozier, more residential feel than cooler tone bulbs, which tend to read as clinical or commercial. If your living room only has one light source right now, adding even 2 lamps will transform how the entire room feels in the evening. Of every trick on this list, this is the one with the biggest gap between how little it costs and how much it changes the atmosphere of a room. Make your entryway do the work. Your entryway sets the tone for your entire home before a guest even reaches the living room. Yet it is one of the most neglected spaces in most houses. A functional, styled entryway does not need to be large. It needs a place to set keys and mail, a spot for shoes, and one visual anchor, whether that is a mirror, a piece of art, or a simple console table. The goal is that the first 5 feet someone sees when they walk in feels considered rather than chaotic. Even a small tray on a shelf near the door to catch loose items can prevent the clutter pileup that makes an entryway feel neglected. Add real greenery at the right scale. Plants add life to a room in a way that no object can replicate, but scale matters enormously. A tiny plant on a huge empty console table looks lost, and it will not fix the emptiness of the space. Designers generally use plants at 2 scales, a large floor plant like a fiddle leaf fig or an olive tree to fill vertical space in a corner, and smaller plants on shelves or tables to add texture at eye level. If you do not have a reliable green thumb, high-quality faux plants have improved significantly and are a reasonable substitute in low-light rooms, as long as they are not the shiny, obviously plastic kind. The goal is bringing organic texture into a room full of hard surfaces and straight lines. Upgrade your textiles. Throw pillows, blanket, and curtains are the accessories of a room, similar to how jewelry finishes an outfit. Cheap, thin curtains that barely reach the floor or mismatched pillow covers can undercut an otherwise well-designed room. A few specific rules make a big difference. Curtains should extend from close to the ceiling down to the floor, not stop awkwardly at the windowsill, because this visual lift makes ceilings look taller than they actually are. Mixing 2 or 3 complementary textures and throw pillows, like a linen with a knit, adds depth without looking chaotic. And investing in a couple of substantial, well-made items, even just one nice throw blanket, will outperform a pile of cheap ones every time. Paint your ceiling. The 5th wall in your home is your ceiling, and it is almost always ignored. Most homes default to flat white on every ceiling in every room, which is fine, but is also a missed opportunity. Painting a ceiling a soft, deep color in a dining room or bedroom can create a cozy, enveloping feeling that a plain white ceiling cannot. Alternatively, painting a ceiling in a slightly warmer white than the walls, rather than a stark white, can soften a room and make the color transition feel more intentional. This is a trend that has continued to grow in popularity through 2026 as designers push back against the idea that ceilings have to be an afterthought. Of everything on this list, this one takes the most effort, but the spatial impact is significant. Declutter your countertops. We are ending with the trick that has the single fastest visible impact for the least effort, and it applies to kitchens and bathrooms alike. Clear countertops read as clean, expensive, and organized, even if the rest of the room is not perfect. Go through every countertop in your kitchen and bathroom and remove anything that is not used daily. Small appliances that only come out once a month belong in a cabinet, not on display. What you keep out should be limited to a few functional or beautiful items, like a nice soap dispenser or a small plant. This single change, done in under an hour, often has more visual impact than an entire weekend of decorating elsewhere in a house. Those are the 10 interior design tricks that actually move the needle in 2026. And the best part is you do not need to do all 10 at once. Pick 2 or 3 from this list. Start with the low-cost ones like decluttering and hardware, and build from there. If this helped you see your home differently, subscribe to Home Intel for more honest, practical design breakdowns with no sponsors and no fluff. Just what actually works. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.